Hello, and welcome to another episode of eBay Scavengers. This is episode number 97. Now, Jay and I are very excited to have Van from the blog Thrift. Now, Van is a very experienced blogger and Etsy seller. She thinks of herself as a curator. You can see that very clearly on her blog and her Etsy store. And she does it all from Jacksonville, Florida. So we're really excited to talk to her today.
So Van, you know what? I found you because we were living in Amsterdam last year, and we're scavenging as we always do. But it was a new culture, a new place, and I just did a Google search, and I found your blog post where you interviewed someone in Amsterdam, and it was great because it showed me a couple places where we could start. It showed me a couple of Dutch words that I knew were about thrifting, and it really opened up our whole world. And we ended up going to auctions and to a big flea market. So that's how I found you. It was a really cool thing. And it's your blog, thriftcore.com.
That's awesome. I'm glad it helped you. I get thrifters from Puerto Rico a lot too, from an interview I did with somebody in Puerto Rico.
Yeah, I saw that you did a series on there. I guess when we looked at your blog, then we figured out, so you started originally in marketing, and you actually had a story where you quit your office gig to do this freelance work of starting Thriftcore. You want to talk about that some?
Yeah, I started Thriftcore because I wanted a place where I could have my own voice online. I was doing ghostwriting for other blogs, and it just wasn't as fulfilling.
Yeah.
So that was just the side gig, and for the first couple of years, I was just building it up, but by the third year, it was starting to get really serious, and I was able to eventually grow it to where it had outgrown the day job. So it took a long time. It was at least 3 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think things just take time if it's going to be, it's worth anything.
And also, I think that is just a huge, everybody that we talk to who does the same thing, it's just such a huge, scary thing to be like, should I actually quit my job to do this?
Yeah, you definitely have to wait until you have income coming in for real.
Right, exactly.
Never just leave.
Now, I think what's interesting, so, we're talking to you today also just because, our blog's about, we sell things on eBay or we sell things online. We're scavengers. Now, it seems like your angle, a lot of people come at this as they're just pickers. You seem more like it's like a stylist. A lot of your blog is about how things are stylish.
Yeah, definitely more of like a curator. I like to call myself a vintage curator rather than just a reseller. So it's definitely curating an aesthetic, something like really playful and colorful.
And what are the things that attract you to vintage stuff?
I like stuff that's really unique. I go with mid-century modern, something playful. I look at if it has something very painterly or an interesting pop culture illustration that's really inspired by retro graphic design, really inspired by toys and just playful, unique objects, kind of what I'm going with right now.
And we love all that stuff too. When people send us questions, they ask us, how do I know what to buy? And it's hard to say. I think we do what probably you do. You just kind of go out into the world and you like in a flea market, and those things just
they pop out at you.
Yeah. A lot of it's instinct, really is. You just kind of develop an eye. And you learn from experience the things that you grab, what sells and what doesn't sell.
Now, so how did you actually get started? So when you were a marketer and then you started doing the blog, what then got you to buying things and selling them online?
Well, I was already thrifting anyway. I was starting to connect with other resellers more and more the more I was blogging and connecting with other blogs that were kind of in my subject. I was meeting a lot of resellers. So it was just kind of sticking in my head while I was shopping. I was like, oh, that kind of looks interesting, like it could sell. So before I was even reselling, I was just kind of building up this stockpile. It was just second nature because I was reading about it so much.
You have an Etsy store, but you also have a physical space where you sell things, right?
Yeah, I rent a space in a nearby antique mall.
We seem to focus on eBay. We tried other places, but we found that eBay they got the traffic. What made you choose to focus on the other site, Etsy?
I think Etsy forces you to curate your collection very carefully, and it forces you to stage your photos very carefully. And I really liked it because it forced me to grow as a photographer. It forced me to grow as somebody who makes a brand. So for me personally, it was just a way to grow as an artist and a way to experiment. I'd probably be making more money on eBay for sure.
Yeah, I mean, your Etsy store is absolutely gorgeous. I mean,
Thank
every
you.
item just looks so beautiful.
It's almost like when I look at your Etsy store, I'm like, you should charge more for some of that stuff.
A lot more.
It's amazing.
Starting to raise the prices more.
Good, yeah. I mean, we always encourage people who sell online, like, gotta ask for these good prices. I mean, I guess one good thing we like about eBay is that, I don't know if Etsy does this, is that eBay, you can put a high price on things and then you have a
make offer
it's
button.
make offer. So you can go in high, but that doesn't mean that people can't say, well, how about I give you a little bit less. So
yeah, definitely eBay is better for negotiations.
So who do you think buys your stuff? Because we always think about the people who are buying our items, and it's hard to tell. Does Etsy help you kind of get a gauge of who's buying this stuff?
It's a little diverse, so I definitely need to make a stronger demographic. I was thinking I wanted to move towards maybe like the readers of Juxtapause, like artists with money.
Yeah.
I've heard a lot, like your target demographic is you but rich, or like you but you actually have money.
That's awesome. I love that.
I think that's where I want to move in direction of, but I kind of have a mix of young kind of hipstery people and then maybe some richer collectors. That seems like what it's in the middle.
Yeah, we've done some podcasts recently where we've had a lot of luck buying like art and lamps, old lamps, and we find that
those are the people buying them.
Yeah, people that don't want to spend $5,000 on a piece of art, but they'll spend $300 on a piece of of a vintage, one of a kind art.
Yeah.
You actually have a physical store too. Is that just because it's more of a storage space, or are you selling a lot?
Is it for like furniture or?
I actually started with the booth at Southern Crossing, and it was really experimental at first, and now it's kind of advertising for me now. A lot of people find the blog and the online store through the Southern Crossing booth, but at first sales were well there because it's one of those stores where things need to be really, really cheap. It's just that kind of mall because everyone else has their things priced low. Now that I've moved my prices up, it's almost the storage for me. It's almost just my advertising space. So I'm still playing with that, trying to figure out how I can instruct people to understand that it's a higher price margin because it's more curated. But when I first started there, everything was really low price, so I was actually doing well. Yeah,
I mean, we know a lot of people in our local area who buy and sell, but they only do it either at flea markets or at those kind of antique malls. And I always just wonder how much they actually spend. Like, how expensive is it having a booth there?
Yeah, mine for a more just a bookshelf basically size spot, it's like $45 a month. So I have like 2 bookshelf size spots because I'm waiting for a booth. Yeah, so I can't really bring in furniture much. They're just like little bookshelves.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I do bring some out front sometimes. They let you do that.
So when you're hanging out at the antique mall, or if when you go there, talk to other people that have their stuff there, do they also have online stores as well?
Very few. I'm one of the, very few. I'm pretty much one of the only ones in there. It also has an online store.
And that's the thing that can confuses me, because those people are not unaware of eBay. Like, very often we'll go to the antique malls and they'll even print out a page from eBay. Why don't they then sell it on eBay themselves?
I think a lot of people are just intimidated. They think it's going to be really hard.
Yep.
Some people, I've had somebody ask me, she's like, well, when you sell it online, do you have to sell it for like bottom of the barrel to get anyone to buy it? It's like, no,
it's
that's
the opposite.
The beauty of it. It's the opposite. You should do it.
Right. And we always talk about the same thing. I mean, if you're just trying to sell to a person in a small area, you're going to get a lower price than if you sell to the entire world. I mean, we just sold something to someone over in Russia, and we got like an incredible price on it just because it's a weird Americana thing that they can't find anywhere.
That reminds me, I have actually bought stuff with the eBay printout from the antique mall and sold it online for more.
Oh, really?
It's like, you guys did the work for me.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, you're like, thanks, great. I'm so glad it's worth more than this.
So So do you think it's an age thing? Like they're just, people.
I think there are some older people who are just scared of the internet.
Yeah.
I think people are going to steal your information.
Yeah.
Like they're going to hack your eBay and find you.
Yep. Hack your PayPal.
People are paranoid.
So do you know other younger people who are selling online?
I have some friends that are also resellers, and most of them stick to local. I think I'm one of the only ones here that I know that mostly online. I don't know anyone else.
Yeah, I think that's a kind of a popular topic on our blog, is that we have a lot of people, and I experience it as well. If you ever try and tell this to like other people, they think it's a little weird. They're like, "What? Did you make a living selling old things online?" Yeah,
trash. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Junk.
It can be very isolating. It's like very few people understand what I'm doing, or that it's even possible to make a living doing it.
And why do you think that is?
I think it's just so outside the realm of possibility. It just seems like it's not something that's really discussed. If you see like American Pickers, if they're whatever shows, they don't usually show them selling it online.
Yeah.
They usually show them having like a storefront. So I think it just, to most people, just really exotic and strange.
So you've been out of that corporate gig now for what, 3-4
3 years
now?
I think now.
Yeah. Does it feel like that was a good choice? I mean, are you feeling good about independence?
Yeah, the only thing I miss about it is the steady paycheck. That's what I tell anybody. Like if they're saying they want to leave, but they're scared, it's like the only thing you're going to miss is the money. The rest, you won't even remember.
Yeah.
Like the liberation can't be beat. The feeling of building your own income your own way. It's so liberating. It's definitely worth it.
Yeah, we agree. 100%.
That's exactly right. And that's why we just tell people, I mean, a big part of it is I notice on your store that you have 500 and something items on there. I mean, that's really the kind of numbers that you have to have up to actually it's make a living. It's all about you have to list,
You have to build up a good, strong inventory and actually do it and put it all online.
Yep.
So if you don't mind, can we walk through its process of selling online? Where do you find all of this stuff?
I mostly shop at the flea market now. Thrift stores, they're getting really overpriced, and they're picking a lot of the good stuff for themselves to sell online, so it's getting a lot harder. So the flea market's still really good for me. I still usually find good stuff at good prices.
Are we talking about a flea market like in a field or? Yeah,
that's our favorite place too.
The ones where everything's kind of like just thrown around and they don't really know the value of it.
Yep. Exactly.
Yeah. Those are more like garage sales.
Yeah.
Those where the good picking is. Garage sales can still be good. Pound store, the Goodwill pound store can be good.
Oh, yeah.
Now, do you have one of those near you?
I do. I just started hitting that up again.
You got to bring your gloves with you because it's dirty.
And for people that don't know what this is, I guess they call them also outlet stores, and at Goodwill has them across its country. And I guess this is like the last part of Goodwill before they send it overseas or something.
Dump it or
so it's where everything comes and they just put them in big bins and you can just pick through it and buy it by the pound, right? Electronics.
I didn't know they sent it overseas. Wow.
Well, I don't know if that's true, but it's got to go somewhere. Right?
I don't know where they bring it. Yeah. They must send some of it overseas, the clothes.
Yeah.
Well, that's so cool. We went to one of those out in Portland, Oregon. Man, I wish we had one closer to us because I would go all the time.
They're awesome.
It's funny though, but there's a whole a scene there where there are people that go there, I guess it's day, and they know how it works, and they have their spaces and
their gloves,
and they know it's when that bell rings and they like jump at the thing when it comes.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny. They do a bell. We have like a security guard.
Oh, really?
And he gives the word, and then people can stick.
That's amazing.
Yeah, people fight to the death for trash.
One time I grabbed some guy's cart because I thought it was just like stuff to go through. Oh my God. I got in so much trouble.
Yeah, I did the same thing. They're like, no.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, I was
Get away.
Now, when I look at your site, and we'll link to it on the blog, I mean, your stuff is amazing and almost pristine. Are you finding this kind of quality at flea markets?
Mm-hmm.
Amazing.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a good picker place here.
Yep.
It's an old city. It's a port city. And there's lots of people that come and go. It's a junkers culture here.
I assume maybe there's a lot of older people, so, there's the estate sale kind of aspect to it.
Yeah, there's a lot of estate sales.
What percentage, are you now only getting the best of the best? Or, a lot of us, I know us, we still get a lot of stuff that is just cheap, might not be the best quality.
I'm trying to only get the best of the best. Like, I just got back from hunting and I left a lot behind that a lot of sellers wouldn't.
Yeah.
So I'm really trying to move away from anything that's not the best quality.
Yeah. I think we're doing the same thing. I mean, I know now I pass up things I would have bought my first couple of years. And now we just focus on things we think that we can sell for. We're trying to get things where we can sell for it's $50 or more. It's not always possible.
Yeah, same here. Yeah, go for like the bigger sales. That way you have less to store too.
If you're at a flea market, are you paying for things for like $1, or will you pay for things for $10?
If it's really special, I'll pay 10 or so, but usually I pay $1 to $7. Usually I'm paying like $1 for a lot of stuff.
That makes a lot of sense.
That's the best way to do it.
So when you buy all the stuff and you come home, what's your process of listing it?
Yep, I've gotten myself into the rule now where I clean it and list it immediately.
Really?
So,
wow.
Yeah. It's really hard. It takes a lot of time.
Right.
It takes my life away, but then it's not sitting around.
Yeah, that's really amazing.
Immediately.
So you'll go out and you'll pick you'll get how many things on a typical day, and how long does it take to put it up?
I just changed the rules this week, but it used to be 10 to 25 even items. So sometimes it would take my whole day away.
Yep.
I'll be working into the night, but it's all listed and out of the way.
Wow, that's amazing.
But now today I only brought home 4 items, and now I'm bringing home a lot less but higher quality items. So it's going to make it easier.
See, I think that's really interesting because we always have our own rules as well, and I think it's really important for sellers to kind of have these guidelines you have to go by. So we're always we have to list 20 things a day when we list.
Yeah, that's good. That's definitely a good rule to have, because then you're having more eyes and more traffic every single day.
But
that's something I need to get into. But
honestly, as good as we try and be, there's just so much good stuff out there that we can never keep up. It's incredible.
Storage is what keeps me from buying more.
Right.
So I just have my little apartment, and I can't really buy too much.
Right. So I wanted to ask you about that. It's next would be the inventory. I mean, it sounds like you just have an apartment. So where do you store all of that stuff?
Yeah, I just got an IKEA Expedite unit, and that we drove 2 hours for that. It was worth it. It's just super helpful. It's holding a big majority of things. Wow. There's stuff. I have a really roomy pantry in my kitchen. That's holding a lot of the kitchenware. My kitchen cabinets are holding some stuff. The closet's holding some stuff.
So it's just
when you open the
everywhere.
cabinet, you're looking for food, and it's vintage stuff.
I mean, honestly, that's one reason why we moved to the country. I mean, I guess we didn't move here because of that, but it turned out to be helpful was that we have a lot of space. So we have a big outbuilding. And that's how we've been able to grow our inventory. I think that really kind of puts us up a step above people who are just, have an apartment, because you just can't have a huge inventory.
Yeah, that would be lovely.
Yeah, right?
One can dream. We'll see.
So when someone buys things, what's your process to have it shipped out?
I also try to ship it immediately if I can. It's the sooner the better.
And you just do that at home?
Yeah, I do it all at home. I have some labels that I printed and pack it up, ship it out.
Yep. And does the post office person come to at your home, or?
I need to schedule it that way, but I always end up just taking it. Can't wait. Got to get it on its way.
And now it's with every seller. It's always they approach how they handle buyers in it's different way. So how do you handle when people email and they
have a problem or they want to
complain?
Luckily, I haven't had too much of that, but I always just have a conversation, see what can be done. I don't immediately oh, here's your money back.
Right.
It's I'm not that pliant. I'll try to investigate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's because a lot of the time it's people buying vintage thinking it's going to be 100% a retail item.
Right.
And I think I'm starting to add a disclaimer vintage, due to the nature of vintage, there's going to be little flaws that give it character. You've been warned.
Right.
It's not going to be brand new. But most of the time it is something where you gave them fair warning.
Right.
And now they're trying to make a problem about it.
So when you sell on the other site, do they have good rules about that?
On Etsy?
I'm trying to remember what the rules are about that. I haven't really read them. I should. Yeah, I definitely should read about that. I think as if you warn people about any flaws in the description, you might be able to counteract any negative feedback. So I think Etsyans are really not willing to leave bad feedback. It's a lot friendlier market, a lot friendlier. So I know people that sell both on eBay and Etsy, and they love Etsy for that. And eBay people can be a lot more difficult to work with.
Yeah, I think that it's a different audience. It's a different level of conversation that's happening. I found that too.
Yep, definitely. I mean, I'm always friendly, and I will refund somebody if something happened, if it broke, or if it's definitely my fault, or if I definitely omitted something. I'll just give them a full refund.
So on Etsy, if there was a problem, do they have a system of because eBay has a whole system of the resolution center and people can open a claim. Is there anything like that on Etsy?
There is. I haven't seen it.
Okay.
I'll have to look it up. Yeah, I'm not sure about that. I bet there is. Luckily, it's never gotten to that level. Luckily, most people don't really bring it there on Etsy. It's more of I think a difference between Etsy and eBay is eBay isn't as personal, and they don't really see you. They see a random third-party robot selling it to them. It's very impersonal. It takes the person out of it. And Etsy is all about you and your personality. And when you go through all of their workshops, they tell you definitely write in the first person. It's be friendly. It's a lot cuter. People are more empathetic because they know you're a person.
Now, some of the issues that we found with Etsy was we found it hard to price things because we couldn't see item prices on sold items, from other sellers. So how do you figure that out? How do you figure out your prices based on what you've found when you're picking?
Sometimes, if the item hasn't sold, I'll check Etsy for some information. I'll check eBay and just random Google searches. And then sometimes if it's just something I think is really unique, I can feel I can price it higher.
And also the other thing I wanted to ask you about is how do you figure out your shipping prices? Because on eBay, you can say this weighs 3 pounds, send it priority or parcel. But I found on Etsy, they're just what's the shipping price? And I'm it depends on where they live,
Yeah. See, that's the funny thing about that. It's now that I've gotten used to doing it the harder Etsy way, I'm really confused on eBay. I'm what? This is I can't. It's alien language. But I've just gotten over a year of doing this. I have an instinct where I can figure it out. You just you learn it by heart, kind of. You learn you shipped out a similar sized item to a similar distance, and then you can just really guess it.
But don't you have to pick one price so it doesn't matter if it's going to a person in one state over or over to California? So did you pick the highest price?
Yeah, I pick the highest price, and on every single item I have a note that says, email me if you'd like me to try to calculate lower shipping for you.
Gotcha.
It's not the best way to do it, but it's the best way to keep me from losing money. I probably lose customers that way, but I can't pay to ship it to somebody.
Of course.
Right, yeah absolutely.
We are not advocates for
free shipping.
Yeah,
because that's a big I was going to say that's a big beginner mistake.
Yeah.
For sure.
People online are really into getting free shipping, and it's just the worst for a seller. I mean, maybe it's possible if you're going to sell something really small
and light,
but if you're selling things like all of us are, paintings,
a vintage lamp, forget it.
Things like that.
You can somewhat build it into the shipping, but if it's a big item, and all of a sudden you have to just mark it way up if you're trying to boot free shipping.
Yeah, and plus I think that's a phony idea that people always push, just build it into the price. Well, then it's not free.
It's not free.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a weird psychological fake out, and then I'd rather it's just say this is the price of the item. The shipping is extra, and I don't get any money from that, and I'm doing the best I can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are your goals for 2014? You have any plans?
I'm trying to transition a little bit away from reselling. I'm always going to do it, but I want it to not be my main source of income. I want to definitely more curated. I would love it to be almost something I could pitch to like a magazine because it's such a curated line. So that's goal number one is like really, really curate the shop and then kind of phase it to second fiddle. And then I really want to move to writing more. I think writing's my first passion, so I definitely want to have more writing. I also want to build the blog up. That was one thing I forgot to add too. A lot of time, because I post every Monday, every single thing I find, a lot of people will tell me the value of something in the comments.
Oh, that's
so the
great.
have been very valuable because I'm not super knowledgeable in vintage selling. It's not something I grew up with. It was something I just kind of gravitated into.
Right.
Definitely trying to build up the blog more as an income source with the advertising from that and just more copywriting. Just moving over to making things more, just selling original art pieces again too.
Wow, that's great.
So I have a lot of random goals for 2014.
See, I think that's cool because we get asked a lot, how long are we going to be eBay people,
sellers.
like sell on eBay? And I don't know, it's hard to say. I guess it's for as long as it's fun and,
I was really evaluating my business plan this year and I had to think about what's my real passion. Like, do I see myself doing this forever? And you have to I had to choose one or the other. So I think I'm always going to do it. I think it's always something that's going to be a part of me, but it's just something that is not as important to me as developing as an artist or a writer.
Yeah, I think a lot of people too, including us, use selling online, for us it's eBay, to get to another goal. Like for us, because we live in a rural area, we were actually able to afford a second house that we're going to use as a rental. We live in a place where people go on vacation, so we're going to use it as like a rental. So we're like, okay, let's use eBay to build up this other way of living. Yeah.
Yeah, I think eBay or Etsy, it's kind of like your funner job to get to the other things that you want to do a lot of the time.
I mean, I think that's what we always say is that the whole point of this is independence. It's not just trying to sell things online. That's just a means to an end. This is the thing that helps me not have to go into a 9-to-5 job. But I would be dumb if I didn't take advantage of this to, do my art, do other kinds of businesses, that kind of thing.
Yeah, it's definitely something that'll always be there too. So it's very flexible.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because we always say you're going to make as much as the time that you put into it. So if you don't put a lot of time into eBay or Etsy, then you aren't going to make a lot of cash,
Yeah, it's definitely flexible.
Well, Van, thanks so much for talking to us on this kind of lazy Sunday. Or I don't know if it's lazy, but
no problem. Thank you.
All right, bye.
Bye.
Bye.